Shabbat Shalom. In this week's doubleheader parsha of Tazria Metzora, we learn about some very strange rules related to something called Tzaraat. Tzaraat was caused by lesions appearing on the skin, different types of lesions, and it required a Kohein to look at the lesions and determine whether the person was actually a Metzora or not. The translation of Metzora as a leper does not actually mean exactly what we are talking about, because it was a physical result of a spiritual problem. That spiritual problem, according to our sages, was motzi ra, someone who expounds or expresses bad or wicked or evil. And the rabbis explain that the person who was struck with leprosy or tzaraat was because of speaking lashon hara. What was fascinating about this law was that it first would appear on the walls of your house. It would then move onto your clothing and eventually onto your body. The person who was struck with this condition called Metzora would then be excluded from the camp, from the community, who have to sit in solitude and work out what it was that they had done wrong and confess their sins. There was a long process of purification until they were welcomed back into the camp of Israel. But here's something fascinating. The Torah makes the following declaration: that when a person found these marks that were starting to appear, even though he may be 100% sure that they were tzaraat, he was not allowed to say it is tzaraat. He had to approach a Kohen and say the words kanega. It is like a wound. It is like a lesion that has appeared on my house, on my clothes, or on myself. No matter how confident he was not allowed to declare it until the Kohen had come and adjudicated. What was the reason for this rule by the Torah? Why could you not self-diagnose? The rabbis offer a fascinating insight, one that is applicable to each and every one of us. Too often, we will look at ourselves and find the nega, find the lesion, find the blemish within ourselves, within our own character. We will prejudge and judge ourselves harshly. We'll say, this is definitely a fault within myself that I'm seeing, or a fault that I'm seeing in somebody else. Was this the requirement, says the Torah? Go and talk to a Kohen. Go get a second opinion. Go and refer to someone who's not consumed by the emotions of the moment. Let them have a look. Let them judge. And if it is a nega, as you rightly thought, then you go through the process. But maybe it isn't. The need to find the Kohen was of paramount importance. And in the world that we live in, this indeed is true. Too often, we self-medicate. We self-judge. And we think to ourselves, this is as bad as it gets. We are seeing things. We make assumptions. We think that 1 + 1 is certainly equal to 2. But when we go and have a conversation with someone else, someone that we trust, and we unburden ourselves and we share what has been going on, quite often it's not a nega. Kanega, yes, it looks like a problem, but it's not a nega. And sometimes our 1 + 1 equals 3. There are so many examples within our own lives that we can come up with. Examples where we have prejudged, we have jumped to a conclusion, have judged family, have judged friends, have judged work colleagues, have judged others, when really it was kanega and not a nega. So our parasha speaks about lesions and of a time gone by when the Metzora walked amongst us. But the message is a timeless message. Don't self-judge. Don't jump to conclusions. Seek out another person, someone like a Kohen, who is divorced from your personal situation, who can advise you with a clear head and without the emotions. Shabbat Shalom.